Are your people working hard but not reaching their full potential? The problem is not effort, it is development. At the Modern Observer Group, we transform workforce development into real performance. Our human-centered achievement programs help your team think better, communicate stronger, and execute at a higher level. That means higher employee engagement, stronger leadership, and measurable results across your organization. If you want a workforce that performs, leads, and delivers, it is time to invest in your people. Visit modernobserver.com and discover how the Modern Observer Group helps you build a workforce that wins.
Iran makes a peace proposal. Customs and Border Patrol makes a major drug bust. The power grid may get its first fusion reactor, and more. Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin, and here's the news you need to know. Although peace talks between the U.S. and Iran and Pakistan were canceled this weekend, negotiations appear to be ongoing. President Donald Trump and his national security team on Monday discussed Iran's proposal to reopen the Strait of Hormuz if the U.S. lifts its blockade and the war ends, White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt confirmed. Iran has offered to allow ships through the Strait of Hormuz, whose closure has spiked global energy prices, but only if the U.S. ends its blockade of Iranian ships and the war while postponing nuclear talks, officials stated. The Trump administration appears unlikely to accept Iran's offer. Meanwhile, Russia's President Vladimir Putin on Monday hosted Iran's foreign minister, telling him that Moscow will do everything that serves Tehran's and its neighbors' interests. The Iranian foreign minister said on Tuesday he welcomed Russia's support for diplomacy and praised the strength of ties between the two countries, saying recent events had demonstrated the depth of their strategic partnership. Customs and Border Protection officers seized 908.3 pounds of methamphetamines hidden inside a commercial tile shipment during a routine truck inspection. Officials estimated the drugs had a street value of $8,119,696. A canine unit first alerted officers to the shipment. Officers then inspected the pallets and found packets of white powder inside. They removed 200 packages from the shipment. CBP has been working without pay as Democrats refuse to fund the Department of Homeland Security. The Supreme Court appears poised to rule that police must obtain a warrant before accessing location data from tech companies. So-called geofence warrants are controversial because they allow law enforcement to request data on all devices present in a given area during a specific time window, often pulling in thousands of individuals with no connection to a crime. Commonwealth Fusion Systems, a private U.S. company attempting to be the first to generate commercial power with a process that mimics the sun, said on Tuesday it has become the first fusion company to apply to join a major power grid operator. Commonwealth, which is planning to open the plant in Virginia in the early 2030s, applied to join PJM, the largest U.S. grid operator. The approval process should take 4 to 6 years. Microsoft and OpenAI are ending Microsoft's exclusive right to sell OpenAI's models, leaving OpenAI free to distribute its products on rival cloud platforms. Amazon CEO Andy Jassy confirmed that it will soon make OpenAI's models available on Amazon Web Services. Meanwhile, shares of companies tied to artificial intelligence infrastructure tumbled in early trading Tuesday after a report that OpenAI has fallen short of internal growth expectations, raising fresh questions about whether the pace of spending across the sector is sustainable. Coca-Cola on Tuesday reported quarterly earnings and revenue that topped analysts' expectations, fueled by higher demand for its beverages. For the full year, Coke is now projecting comparable earnings per share growth of 8% to 9%, up from its prior forecast of 7 to 8%. It reiterated its previous outlook of organic revenue growth of 4 to 5%. Shares of the company rose more than 2% in pre-market trading. That's the Raw Naked Truth for April 28th, 2026. You can catch every episode of the Raw Naked Truth Daily News Brief, as well as our sister podcast, Carnivore Radio, with news analysis and commentary, and the rest of the Xvadio Podcast Network at xvadio.com, the Apple Podcast app, YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, and other platforms that respect freedom of speech. We'll see you next time.